You're listening to the Gameday Tarps podcast with your hosts, Ryley, Dakota, Dallas, Daeden, Colton, and Wilbs.
Welcome back to episode 56 of the Gameday Tarps podcast. We got a lot to talk about today, so I'm actually just going to cut right to the chase here because there's quite a bit to talk about, boys. You want to talk about, we got Ivan Demidov's NHL debut, which was obviously highly anticipated. Daeden, you want to talk about your boy?
Yeah, I was definitely tuned in right from the get-go to that one. As every Montreal prospect should, they definitely got a great ovation to start the game. The rookie lap was great, and then he touched the puck, and that's all it takes in Montreal is just for someone to touch the puck, and the crowd erupted. And then 20 minutes later, after the first period, he's already got his first point. He's already got his first goal. And they were both beautiful. I think the assist was better than the goal, in my opinion. Yeah. And I've seen him do
on a dime and cut cross crease in an instant.
Yeah, but if you would have watched him in the KHL, you know he can do that nonstop. That's back pocket stuff for him.
But name 30 other NHLers that can do that. 30. I'm literally talking about 30. I don't even know if 20 could do that.
That's all right. They're
gonna speed, fake slap shots.
Welcome to the Demidov show, buddy. Welcome to the Demidov show.
I'm just saying the goal was better than the assist.
Nah, he cut around Murphy like nobody's business. Put a pass out front on a tee for Alex Newhook. No big deal.
He didn't even panic. He had a breakaway in his first ever NHL game. In his first ever NHL period, he had 0 shots on net ever.
Yeah, and he probably knew it was Arvid Soderblom, and he's a bum, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make this guy look silly.
Doesn't matter. That goes in on Vazzy. Not matter. That goes in on everyone.
But I mean, that just goes to show how good the kid is. Like, if it goes in on anyone, I think it's not gonna be a right now, like, flip the switch, the Habs are amazing type of thing, but he's the winger that the Habs have been looking
for sure.
He's that franchise player you could pretty much categorize him as, right? Like, the immediate impact that he's had already is crazy. Like somebody made a joke yesterday, and I don't know if it was on DFO Live or if it was on the sheet, but like, I don't think enough people. I guess it would have been today. I don't think enough people showed up to the airport to watch them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, after that performance, the whole city should have just been there to greet him, right? Like, the new king is in town, essentially. So it's pretty cool. And I mean, Montreal now on the brink of playoffs, so it all comes down to Columbus and Montreal to see who faces Washington. But a few other debuts and assignments, obviously, as well, boys. But Alexander Nikishin comes over. Huge news there for Carolina. I went on a rant about this last episode, but he's plagued as the Russian Cale Makar. So I said last episode, how do you do that when you're 6'4" and 216 pounds? That's not even close to what Cale Makar's size is. So you can't beat Cale Makar.
6'6",
yeah, exactly.
One thing, actually, I just want to note this real quick on the topic of Demidov, on the topic of Nikishin. Last year, Michkov. The KHL, is no longer the big bad.
No.
Right? Like, they are now, they have no leverage. These are 3 of the best prospects they've ever had, all with term left on their contract, and the NHL was able to get them all away. The KHL no longer should be. If you draft a Russian, you should have no fear anymore. You're not going to get them the first year, guaranteed, if they have a contract. But if they have a 3-year deal in place, you can guaranteed get them after the second season. It just seems to be that way. The KHL has lost its mojo, whatever, its intimidation factor. NHL teams aren't afraid to just say, too bad the kid doesn't want to play there.
I think that's more than fair, though. Like, it at one point, I guess And I don't know how really it's changed, but yeah, I guess at one point it was, the KHL owners and teams had more rights in a sense with quotations, right? Like,
Well,
so
Kaprizov is the number one example. Like he really
yeah,
got held there till he was 24. Like that's a long time.
same with Panarin too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they both stayed over there for quite a while and then came over. So I don't know. I think it's cool though, right? Like it's big news obviously for Demidov to come over, right? Like we just talked
Yep.
about all the people in Montreal who went to the airport, and then Alexander Nikishin, like Carolina fans are just going crazy about this kid, and when he's gonna play, and he won't make his debut tomorrow because their Carolina plays in Canada.
Calgary.
So
Calgary.
yeah, so and he doesn't have his Canadian visa yet, so he can't play.
Makes sense.
But still, another prospect that should be playing, and I talked about this in our group chat, was Zeev Buyam, but he did not crack
He's
the
not.
lineup for the Minnesota Wild. Instead, Minnesota went, "Yo, let's give John Merrill some more minutes."
Hey, they won today though. They solidified their spot.
Yeah, I mean,
Merrill
guess.
didn't help. He didn't help, but
I just look at it more from like you look at the immediate impact Demidov had. I mean, throw Buyam on the ice for 13 minutes or whatever John Merrill played tonight, and I mean, what
yeah.
worse could he do than right?
Yeah. Well, now I don't know, because you even look at look at what Cale Makar did. Look at what Quinn Hughes did, right? Coming both straight and on good teams at the time. Really, like Quinn, the Canucks weren't great, but Colorado was. They were pretty good when Makar came up.
Lane.
Yeah,
Like just didn't spend any time in Laval. I don't think, and just immediately steps in. Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Lane Hudson kind of came in and was just the number one guy almost in Montreal beside Mike Matheson, and now he quarterbacks the power play, and it's just a kind of a straight line.
And I don't even want to knock Lane, because this is not a knock on him at all. But Zeev Buyam coming out of college is better than Lane Hudson coming out of college. Lane Hudson today is the better player, no doubt about it, almost winning Rookie of the Year. But if you're talking about the minute that they came out of college, Buyam is the better player right now. He just played 51 minutes the other night.
I think it would be more fair to say he's the more NHL ready player, not just the sense that like for the skill and everything, but he's got the size, he's got like the how should I say, he's got the experience. He just went 2 back-to-back Frozen Fours with Denver. So I mean, like, and he's had David Carl coaching him for the past 3 years, not just at Denver but at the World Juniors as well. So he's got some real good experience in the past few seasons, and I think that would also add to his NHL readiness, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, 100%. And I saw somebody tweeted out, it might have been Michael Russo, Minnesota Wild reporter for The Athletic, but Buyam had the most points in a career by a defenseman since 1979, 1980 in the NCAA. Like second most points or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
in his career.
So, 97 points or 98 points or whatever he finished with, like that, like that's more than Lane. It's one more than Lane. It was literally one more, but still, like, I just don't get how Bill Guerin or John Hines look at it and go, okay, let's not put this player in. Like, how do you play John Merrill or Zach Bogosian over him? I just don't get that.
The only thing that I would kind of take into consideration there would be the fact that Minnesota's in a playoff hunt, and you might want the guy that's been in the lineup, been around the systems, just to play that last couple of games. But then I look at Montreal, and they slipped Demidov right into it in the midst of a playoff hunt. And Martin St. Louis said after the game that he was the only one that wasn't distracted and pressured by all the other stuff going around, and that's why he was able to just go out there and play. So I think, they would have done that with Buyam. He might have been able to just go out there and play.
Washington did it with Leonard. Blues did it with Snuggerud.
Perot. He missed one game and then Pro was in, but he was
Pro
scratched.
got healthy scratch twice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh geez, what was I just gonna say about Bouillon? Okay, well, my other note I was gonna make is literally that Quinn Hudson made his NHL debut before Zeev Bouillon, which is
And
insane.
Edmonton is
on the Oilers. Like I don't even know how I did. I didn't see what his game. They lost bad, I think, that game.
He didn't get a point or anything, but still. Detroit
Exactly.
announced today that Sandin Palika and Brenzig Nygaard are going to Grand Rapids. So in
Nice.
comes the Swedish Dynamo for Detroit, because we all know ASP is going to do unreal things, and then Michael Brenzig Nygaard is just a behemoth, even though he's like 5'11", but still.
Yep.
Beast out.
Brenzig Nygaard, is that the one from Norway?
Yes.
Okay,
He was playing in Skellefteå with
Skellefteå?
with ASP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Yeah. So they both come over now, and they're supposed to make their Grand
I
Rapids
remember my
debuts
note.
like
Sorry.
ASAP.
I remember my note. The fact too. So with Guerin, looking at Hines and stuff, we have to remember that Minnesota just burned a year of Bouillon's contract, and he did not play a regular season game. Like, he just burned a year, and he hasn't played.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to look at it as the general manager. Like, we burned a year for nothing. And if he doesn't play him in the playoffs, which Hines isn't necessarily guaranteeing that he's going to, he said, we'll look at getting him. If they get swept in 4 and Bouillon doesn't get in, they burned a year for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Other than the benefit of Bouillon hitting restricted free agency 1 year early. Like, that, to me, that's just crazy that's what they thought. And same with Calgary. Zane Parekh has not touched the ice yet. I don't know if he's going to tomorrow. He should. They better. Right now that they're out, like, there's no reason to
they
not
should.
Right?
God rest his soul, Johnny Gaudreau. Like, they did that with Johnny. They had the final 2 games of the season or whatever, and they played Gaudreau in the final 2 games because Calgary wasn't going to make playoffs that year. I don't think, I could be corrected, but like, still. So
you're
why
right.
not
You're right.
do it for Zane? So silly, right? I don't know. But speaking of players making returns, Gabe Landeskog. Now, pretty cool to see what Landeskog has been doing, right? He goes down to the AHL, lights it up with the Colorado Eagles. Now he's coming back to the Avs. So he's supposed to play in round 1. So, I
do hate the fact that he's coming back game 1. I do hate that. But at the same time, of all the players, like of Stone, of now Matthew Tkachuk, Kucherov had double hip surgery, so I can't, his timeline was maybe a little extended, but Landeskog's injury has been notably one of the worst you can have in your career. So it's the least annoying of the bunch, but for him to be able to really come back like day 1 of the playoffs, right when the cap hit ends, right? It's kind of tough to see, but it is what it is. I mean, but I don't mind the rule. I guess I'm in the group of people that don't mind it because it's the way it is now. Like, to win, you have to have guys on injury reserve, and you have to use that cap space to buy more players and fill your team up.
But you do know that quite well, Mr. Bolts fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I do.
You do.
Hey, again,
nobody's going out.
Double hip surgery.
But that's a real thing. Nobody's going out and getting there's no fake injuries, right? You know what I mean?
Mark Stone just had a hurt back for 2 years straight, right before the trade deadline. No surgery, never got surgery, not in the offseason. No surgery for Stone. If he got surgery at any point, I'm totally okay with it. But he never. Same with Tkachuk. Tkachuk's is just undisclosed. We have no idea what he's dealing with. It's just undisclosed.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Like, they should at least have to disclose what he's got if he's going to be on long-term injury reserve, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. To me, Landeskog is the least annoying, and I want to watch this documentary on him. It looks incredible following his story. I'm really excited to see it.
Is that out already?
Parts, I think it's releasing in episodes.
Where?
Okay. I think Amazon.
I don't
isn't
know.
it?
I just keep seeing it's in advertisements. Actually, I think Sportsnet's doing
One of
part of
the
it. I'm not sure.
one of the Colorado players was talking about it recently about the documentary, and then they made a comment about how they're glad that Landeskog is getting better and getting back on the ice, so these cameras get the fuck out of their faces. I was like,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Apparently, they're just like constantly like in the locker room and like just documenting everything with Landy, right? So
Yeah, but it's so good for the game. The guys kind of need to get over it. You know what I mean? Like look at Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is so popular in the NFL.
Mhm.
Following a team through the whole season, the ins, the outs, the general manager meetings, the coach meetings. People love because you see the inner workings. You don't just see the generic, answering to the press conference guys, right? Like the press. You just don't see the generic answers. You get to see their personalities. You get to see their life.
Yeah, that's why Faceoff was so popular, right? This past summer when it came out, or last summer when it came out, right? So, and the NHL's probably doing that again, I'd assume. So why not?
Yeah.
You got Connor McDavid dropping F-bombs and people getting fucking pissed. Like, people love that shit. People memed that stuff, created reels. Like, it's all good fun, right?
Yeah, we don't know what teams are being recorded, but I'm sure some are. Like, I'm sure the Panthers have cameras with them right now for the season. Being the Ovi would for sure.
I'd assume the Capitals have had cameras around them and stuff like this whole time. So
I mean, every team has like a production crew. Like the Leafs, they have like just the show that they have called Blueprint, and like the Habs have a show. So most teams have like their own production crew, but I guess I would assume it's when the NHL brings their own in and sends their own production crew in to stick their cameras in your face, that would probably get a little annoying.
A little bit, you'd think. Speaking of annoying, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Mitch Marner hit 100 points.
How is that annoying? Because the Leafs fans are going to yap about it?
No, I'm just joking.
I think for him, I think it thank God for his career.
I think it's annoying for him though. Right?
It's got to be a relief. Now everyone can shut up that he's a 3-time 99-point guy or whatever.
So he's only let me pull it up here. Bad producer, but let me pull it up. Matt Larkin had a tweet about this. He became only so Daryl Sittler scored 100 points twice. Doug Gilmour scored 100 points twice. Austin Matthews scored 100 points twice, and now Mitch Marner. Those are the only 100-point scorers in Maple Leafs history.
Which is just crazy. Yeah,
Matt
so he had 90. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Matt Sundin never had 100 points. Isn't that nuts? Like,
for the legend that he was, he did play in the lowest.
Like a god.
Yeah, but he scored in the lowest goal scoring time in NHL history. Points, remember when who won the Hart with like 68 points or whatever? Remember someone won with it was 86, but it was absurdly low point totals in like 09 or something. Like it was crazy. But so Marner hit 100 this year, 2 years ago 99, the year before that 97, and 2018-19 94. Other than that, he's gone 61, 69, 67, 67, and 85. So he either hit 60 or 90, other than one season at 85.
Jesus. Damn. Okay, fair enough. Austin Matthews hit 400 career goals.
Yep.
He's only 500 and what away from passing Ovechkin?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love his response too when they asked him. He was like, "Can we not make this about me?" Like right away, they're like, "Hey, are you gonna?" They didn't even say like, "What do you have to say to Ovechkin?" Like, "Congrats" or anything. Like, they were just like, "Do you think you're gonna beat it?" He was like, "What?"
He's like, "What now?"
He's like, "I'd have to be healthy for 15 more years." Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so he's at 400 now. He has to get to 900. That's like, if he scores 40 a season.
He has to more than double his career right now. It's 45 for a decade.
Holy crap. Okay.
But he's pretty quick, like to hit 400, right? Like,
Oh, it is.
He's
It's
for
faster.
Yeah, he
than
would have,
Ovi.
but he would, yeah, that's 10 more straight seasons. He would have to be healthy, scoring at least 45 bingos. Like,
Yeah. 10 straight. And he's what, 27? So you'd have to be 37 scoring 45. Again,
But
we're talking,
plus,
you know,
plus.
he just did.
I know. But Ovi's Ovi. Matthews has never been as physically imposing. He's never been as
Yeah, when Matthews gets to be 35, 36 years old, who knows how he'll be compared to this Russian mule that just, like, I don't know. Ovi's a different breed, man.
Dude
he
drinks
still plays like
Coca-Cola.
he's 18.
Man.
Yeah, he was in an interview I heard the other day, and they were like, "Yeah, Ovi, do you still drink Coke on the bench?" He's like, "Oh yes, still Coke. If you see bottle, is Coke."
Yeah.
Did you see him on the plane on the Pat McAfee show?
Yeah, that was the
going
one.
around
That was
just
the one.
Oh, was it that one?
Yeah, going around just talking
He
to
walks
everybody. Like,
So
introduces-
John Carlson's eating and he's just stuffing the camera in his face.
Yeah, that was
He's like,
amazing.
thanks, Ov. Like,
it was
now
good
forever
stuff.
I'm
It was
eating
good
on
stuff.
television. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk more about this next episode, but I guess I'll sneak this in. But Matthews is the one guy I think can catch Ovi. So
No,
if we're
there's one
talking
more.
about players, who?
Steven Stamkos. He's going to score 80 goals a year for the next 4 years.
Yeah, no, okay, well, that's bait.
I think
You think Connor can do it?
Stammer will finish
Connor can do
second behind Ovi in goals scored in the time they were both in the league, I think.
Actually,
Because I think he's already there, but he's going to finish with that. Even if he scores like 3 more 30-goal seasons, he's pretty good for that. Where's Nashville? There. One sec. Let me find out what he's at career-wise. Did he score this
okay.
year?
Will Connor McDavid hit 2,000 points before Austin Matthews hits 900 goals?
Yes.
Yep.
Easily.
Yeah, I guess he's already at 1,081. So
Yeah. He only has to be like 35 by the time he hits another 1,000.
Ooh, Stamkos only has 607.
Yeah, but that's
Oh.
I said second most among like active players.
Never mind.
behind
582.
582.
582 goals, 607 assists. But yeah, I don't know. If Ovi or if Matthews stays, I guess, 400 now, that's not that much. That's only a couple more seasons.
Stammer will hit like 700, I think. He'll cap out around there. That'll
Think he's
be
gonna
his.
play that much longer?
Well, he just signed a 4-year deal. So he's at 4.8 or 580.
bottoming out this year.
So 18, if he gets 18, he's at 600, and then that's 100 more goals.
Oh.
Yeah, so if he gets 3 more
Like-
30-goal seasons, right? That basically brings him
Okay.
up
He could
to,
do
let's say, 615 and then 645, 675 after 330 goals. And then he's still going to probably keep playing. He's only going to be 35, 36 if
That's
he keeps
fair.
playing.
Yeah.
If he get like, and then it was okay. So he bought like 3 or 4 20-goal seasons to end it out, right? Like,
Cole Iserman is going to break the record.
no.
I know, bad take.
Who's a legendary depth scorer? Who's legendary? Just for potting like 20 goals a year every year, no matter what. That's his ceiling. I think he's going to be great at just putting like 20 goals in every single year.
I'm trying to think of people who can just. I'm blanking on this.
Like
Why?
Brian Rust,
Yeah.
like
That's
elite.
not the worst comparison, though.
Like no, like 20 goals a year every single.
but the
season.
thing with okay, hold up before we get into this. Let me transition into my NCAA talk, anyways. What are you thinking, Day?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a player, man. But I can't
Like
even.
Mikko
think of
Koivu?
someone.
He scored consistently.
I was
Yeah,
actually
but he's
thinking
actually
Alex Kovalev.
No, Kovalev was like he's the only guy that the Habs have had put up 80 points since like friggin' who knows since Price's draft year 07. So
Fair enough.
or
AK-47, the GOAT.
Nugent Hopkins, maybe. That's a guy
Yeah,
who
there
gets
you
like
go.
exactly 20 goals every year.
yeah, but Cole Eiserman's gonna be better than Ryan Nugent Hopkins, I think.
Whoa, that's better than a first overall
Oh.
pick? I don't
Well, he's
think.
pure goal scorer. Come
Yeah,
on.
but this is Ryan Nugent Hopkins, bro. Like this kid
Yeah.
who was like, oh, look at this kid from Red Deer. He's amazing. And then 5 years later,
Yeah.
oh, look, this kid from
Still
Newmarket's
one
in
of the best
town.
face-off takers. Still one of the best face-off takers. One of the best passers.
True.
It's just okay. You gotta imagine this. Draisaitl gets bumped up to play with McDavid, and New just being left in the barren wasteland to pick up whoever else they throw on his line. He's playing with like Corey Perry and Victor Arvidsson,
Well, that's his problem.
and he was with Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle, and then they traded both of them away, and they were like, "Figure it out, kid."
Okay,
Like,
the new but for this last game, according to Daily Faceoff, Nuge was playing on line 1 with Jeff Skinner and Connor Brown.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Line
That's
one.
their
Oh my
like,
God! Okay, wait. Listen to this. Second line 2 was Janmark, Arvidsson, Podkolzin. Line 3, Henrique, Hudson, Perry, Kapanen, and Jones as the extras.
Yep. Everyone's hurt or sick on their team.
So they have no McDavid, no Draisaitl?
No McDavid, no Draisaitl, no Hyman. I think
So,
no Bouchard,
Kane's
no
on
Skinner.
IR,
They're cooked.
No, they were all just
Klingberg's on IR.
Ekholm. Kane.
Ekholm's out. Frederick's out. Draisaitl's out. McDavid's day to day. Hyman's day to day. Wallman's day to day. Stetcher's day to day. 9
And Kane
injuries.
is question mark.
And Kane.
Hey, the
Kane's
Kings
doing
might actually
Mark
get
Stone.
it figured out this year.
Oh, the Kings are the favorite. Home ice.
They're still not gonna do it though. Come on.
Colton. No. The Kings are doing
I
it.
don't think McJesus just
They have the best
does
shutdown
play.
guy in the league, Philip
But-
Deno.
With who though?
He's pretty good.
Okay, if it's just McDavid, you just put Philip
If-
Deneau on him. If it's just McDavid, they have to worry about.
Quinn Hudson will stay with him. So will
And
Connor
then
Brown.
You stick Dano on McDavid for the whole game,
Okay,
and then
but-
Mm-hmm.
Byfield, LaFerriere, Kempe, they all have time and space to go pot 10 goals.
You know, LaFerriere's from New Jersey. I thought he was from Montreal. He's not.
What a guy.
Yeah, he's from New Jersey. So, anyways, gonna keep on adding on to that. In a
for it.
hypothetical world, what? In a hypothetical world, let's say Draisaitl and McDavid don't play for Edmonton in like the first few games, okay, or first like game, even though I'm pretty sure they're both like projected to play in the game 1. So scratch all of that I just said. If LA can't get the job done, does Rob Blake get fired?
No.
3
Why?
million %. 3 million %.
Because that's year like 8 of dealing with, or year 7 or something.
He traded Iafallo, Velarde, all those assets for Dubois. Then said, you know what, Dubois is ass, which you know what, he was for them.
Kemper.
He was
Yeah,
for
he
them.
was.
Swap him for an old Darcy Kemper, who is having a fantastic season, but just to get rid of Dubois' cap hit. And Dubois is playing fantastic in Washington this year.
Also traded Kevin Fiala.
Yep.
No, wait, sorry. Acquired Kevin Fiala, traded Brock Faber. There you go. That's
Right.
what I meant to say.
But was shopping Byfield, was shopping Clark. Like, what is his vision? What does he see this team? Is he trying to get Kopitar and Doughty to 90 years old carrying this team?
Yes.
Like, I don't
think-
see the vision.
Yeah, I think he's definitely walking the line, but I just think the Kings actually get it done this year. That's the thing.
When
But then-
look at the
yeah.
goalie carousel he's got too. He hasn't solved their goaltending problem. Kemper has done good and got them to where they are, but he's like what 34-year-old Kemper, like 4 years removed from when they won the cup, 3 years removed. So
Yeah. 2022.
I don't know.
It's Kemper and Riddick right now.
Yeah, that's not an amazing
Edmonton
tandem.
can solve Riddick, and I mean they don't have Jeannot, which I mean, but they don't have Edmondson. Byfield's
bad
day to
trade.
day now. You know, Byfield's day to day since he got cross checked in the back of the head last night.
He'll be fine.
Kopitar's out. Doughty's out, and Mikey Anderson's out. So
Yeah, Doughty re-injured the ankle that kept him out. So he very well could just not play again.
What a dumbass.
Is this going to be literally the Bakersfield Condors versus the Ontario Reign? Like, is that what we're about to watch go down as like the Oilers were like the battle or the Gretzky Bowl?
Talking about the Ontario Reign, and we're just talking about their goalie problems. How about Carter George's 33 save shutout in his debut?
Yeah, good for him.
Canada's goalie problems might be out the door.
Yeah. And just throwing this out there,
Carter
captain
George.
of the Ontario Reign, Campbellsborn Joe Hicketts.
Let's go.
Ooh, true.
Call
Call him up for playoffs. Sure, he could play better than
Although he did just think from a reputable source, his own mother, he thought he broke his hand this weekend, but he's good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, blocked a shot with it. Thought it was done, but he's fine. It's all good.
Yikes. A big shout out to Western Michigan University for winning their first ever NCAA championship. Obviously, that was crazy to beat Boston University. I know everybody had money on BU, even though not really sure how you couldn't bet on the underdogs. They were just kind of, just steamrolling through it. My favorite player then, dude, literally, like that team just walked right through that thing and was prepared to win. And they didn't just beat Boston University; they fucking smacked them around 6-2. So good for them, man. Alex,
like everyone else, though. I just gotta say, I'm just like everyone else. Did I know who they were 3 weeks ago? No.
True.
But am I glad I do now?
Damn
yes.
Right.
Up Kalamazoo. Here we go. They're getting a brand new. They're getting a brand new facility. It's like $80 million, I think, or something like that.
$500 million.
They had a donor. Well, no, that's not how much the facility is. But the donor pledged. No, the donor pledged 500. Huh?
Projected 515 million. Now,
okay, because the donor pledged 515 million. So
he just went on Pat McAfee like 2 days ago and went further into detail. Yeah, and he went real into detail about how he alone has added $100 million in additions to the facility. But yeah, go ahead with the donor. You can explain that probably better than I can.
I just know that a local donor or whatever they were saying pledged 500 and whatever it was, 515 million, I think it was. That's a lot of money. Holy Christ. Imagine
but saying do whatever you want. He's actually said like there's no budget. He said he wants it to be the best rink.
Yeah, did you see the clip?
Yeah, exactly.
And like
they were going around to everywhere.
Yeah.
They were like, if you want that, we'll get that. If you want that, we'll get that.
Cryo chambers,
the guys on
sauna rooms.
It's gonna be like state of the art. Is exactly what it'll be. Like the guys on Morning Cup of Hockey were talking about it too this morning, and like $500 million to build a facility. That's going to be better than North Dakota. That's going to be better than now Johnny kind of clapped back a little bit because Johnny Lazarus, that is, clapped back a little bit just because it's like North Dakota is so historical, right? Like there's a little difference there, but it's going to be like a state of the art facility and going to attract a lot of high end talent, which is pretty cool for the school, man.
Yeah, I think it's two different. It goes in two different directions there. Like the Ralph is such a historical building where it's like you get you get inside, it's like all the brick. Like it has so much historic value to it. But then this Western Michigan school is going to have state of the art everything. Like it's going to be brand new. It's going to attract all these modern new kids to go there, and they're gonna thrive, man. They're gonna be good. They might be the top Michigan school here in 5 years.
I'm just saying, in the world of kids that follow trends, this is a very trendy place to go. The excitement they've built up, the hype around their organization, the way that it's like you can come to this small town school, but it's gonna be like the biggest hockey school you've ever been to. Five, right? Like, I think that they're just selling it extremely, extremely well. But I know that we want to talk about the coach here too, Colton. I know we got some.
Hold up.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
want to talk about some of my favorite players from this team because
Okay,
I became a very big fan of Alex Bump, and while he scored no points in the Frozen Four, that dude is a fucking ball of energy. And my God, is he fun to watch out there. Like, this kid is going to have an NHL career. He's going to be that third line, second line guy that you can move up and down your line. But good Lord. And should I say, snubbed from the Hobie Baker finalists this year. But that's okay. But my God, what an unreal season for them. A couple other players, obviously, too, from WMU that were impressive. Tim Washy, who just made his NHL debut tonight. He led they were saying, John Buccigross was saying on the broadcast in the championship game that Washy led the NCAA in faceoff percentage. Like, this is a dude who basically will win you like 80%, 80% of your faceoffs, and he's just 6'3", 216 pounds, a big guy. I was tipped off. I told you guys about him going to Anaheim, and I should have tweeted about it, but whatever. Hampton, and speaking of LA goaltenders, Hampton Slakinski. There you go.
Stud.
He had himself a good
Stud at the
tournament.
World Juniors, stud till now. And
Yeah.
I think the World Juniors gold kind of propelled him. He came back to college and he was like, I'm the man.
Lights out. Yeah, 100%. So shout out to WMU. We're gonna try and get one of them on. I got some contacts with them, so we're gonna try and get one of these guys on, talk about their NCAA run, and bring that for you guys here at GDT. But BU, let's talk a bit about BU for a second, because Cole Hudson's not turning pro, and I know that is kind of rattling some Capitals fans. The plan for Hudson is for him to go back to Boston University and Boston University and play there and try and go for another championship. That's basically the plan. The idea is he's not ready for the NHL yet. So obviously things can change with a phone call. And we'll see what happens as we move into the off season. But sources have indicated to myself and to Gameday Tarps that he will not be returning, or he will be returning, sorry, to school.
In a way, I get it, right? But for almost every NHL team, I get this, but not for Washington. The Hershey Bears are like the top AHL organization, period. I think in this instance, with 100%. A team that's always going deep in the playoffs, always playing a high level of professionalism, pumping out, Connor McMichael, pumping out a ton of good players up to the NHL. I just don't see why it's better for him to go to BU than it is to go to Hershey, and then have a chance to play 20 NHL games next year. Be the first guy on call up every time a defenseman goes down. And if he earns it, good.
I just think the Hudsons as a family have such a close tie with BU now. Quinn, Lane, Cole. I think they probably have a good relationship with the coaches. And if you feel like you could get better development one more year and he's going to be that top guy for BU now. Quinn's gone, Lane's gone, Willender's gone. So he's going to be their guy. So I think that might play a role into it, where if he goes to the AHL, he'd get minutes and he'd get great development, but the minutes would be very like a much less capacity than if he played another season at BU.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying, though. You make him D1 in Hershey and D8 in the NHL, right? Like, he's first call up. He needs to lead Hershey in ice. Like, That's the kind of thing I'm saying is what they should do with him.
Okay.
But yeah, like, and not shelter him at all. Just let him go.
Yeah.
Let him rain havoc on the AHL. And then if at the halfway point you bring him up full time, then you bring him up full time. But I don't know.
I think from what I've been told, like he wants to win the championship. They were close last year. They didn't make it to the final last year. This year they made it to the final. Like that's what he wants. He wants to win the NCAA championship, and I think that's fair for him. And like Daeden points out too, like he gets that number one role guaranteed no matter what. Now there's Tom Willander is likely signing with Vancouver, so he goes out. But I know that some Caps fans aren't happy about it just because of what you say, what Hudson can bring to that team right away, right? Speaking of Hudson, Quinn Hudson made his debut, so good for him.
Very cool. Very cool.
Daeden, Ryan Green from Newfoundland, St. John's boy, made his NHL debut out of BU. Made his NHL debut with Chicago. So
Nice.
Shout out him, man.
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Well, that was embarrassing. I heard them talking about that yesterday on the broadcast. I heard some guy like from Newfoundland. And I was like, oh, they're talking about Newhook, and then they showed some guy skating around no bucket and warm up with Demidov, and I was like, oh, they're not talking about Newhook. So yeah, it's pretty good for him to see. It's always great to see an East Coaster make their debut. So shouts to him.
Shout out to him. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, co-captain of the BU, was one of their top scorers, obviously, and another guy. Not going pro, Cole Eiserman.
I can see that. I can see that one.
Oh, but don't worry, he's gonna break the record one day.
I never said that. What are you talking about?
Are you sure? We can rewind.
Yeah, we can rewind. We can go back. Yeah, he's gonna go back to BU.
Can I be the most honest about this? Not even so much about well, can he go back to the World Juniors or is he done?
Who? Cole?
Yeah.
He can go back.
Yeah. So not only is this about BU, this is about not being the 13th forward on Team USA. This is about being like the first line winger.
He's
right?
a defenseman, sir.
Huh? No.
Cole Eiserman?
Oh, Cole Eiserman. Okay, yeah. I thought we were talking about
Cole Eiserman.
I thought we were talking about Cole Hudson.
No,
Eiserman.
Okay.
Yeah, you said Eiserman. Okay, yeah. Okay. We're going.
So no, you're right though. 13 forward, right? And what did he do when he scored that? He scored that huge fucking goal against Canada on the Easton Cowan penalty, right? And he screamed at him, "Cowan, you fuck," right? Or whatever he said.
Cowboy, way to go, cowboy, you fucking
idiot,
or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Like, dude, talk about a guy who's got some energy and who's going to be a fun player to watch. But good lord, it's probably
Who's he drafted by again? Is he drafted by
New
the Islanders?
York Islanders.
Oh, his career's over. What are we even talking about him for? He's done.
Hold up. Did you see the thing that went out yesterday about Bridgeport?
No, did not.
Listen to this.
Bridgeport
Islanders. Hold up. You're going to get a kick out of this, I promise you.
My guess is they've put 0 drafted prospects to the NHL. That's my guess.
Bridgeport's home schedule has been complete, and the numbers are historic. The tweet reads, they finished 4-28-1-3 for the fewest home wins in AHL history. They had a minus 70 goal differential. So,
what?
Do you know who runs their team? Lou Lamoriello's son.
Oh my goodness.
So it kind of makes sense why the team is just in absolute shambles from the Islanders down to Bridgeport. Bridgeport, by the way, also named the Islanders, is not a fucking island. I just want to point that out. It pisses me off that they're even called that.
I like the sound Tigers. They could have dropped sound, but Tigers would be dope.
No, Sound Tigers was dope. Cole Eiserman, though, is probably saving his career by not going there this coming season.
Yes. I absolutely agree. Like, remember how I said there's like 1 or 2 teams? Like, we're talking about Coachella Valley Firebirds and Hershey Bears. Those are the two
Yeah.
teams you go to if you're coming out of college and are going to play pro early. Other than that, you go back. You go back otherwise.
I will say
Speaking
Laval
of-
has a decent development program.
Laval's got a good one.
Yeah,
figured
okay.
it
I'm
out.
not knocking the development program, but how many young guys are in the way there that they're going to be putting at the top anyways versus like going back to college and being the guy?
Yeah, true.
That's true.
Reinbacher might be there. So like D1 could be gone right away.
I wouldn't see that's the thing though. I don't think Reinbacher's as good as people think.
No, and that's why he's in the AHL next year.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Might be a swing and a miss by Montreal on that one.
Yeah.
They were going
But
for Mo
we'll see.
Slider, and they did not get Mo Slider
Not a chance.
No.
on that jump.
BU's goaltender, Mikhail Igorov. Holy cow.
Egorov.
New Jersey, New Jersey prospect. New Jersey's got a fucking good one there, man. Oh, God. That kid
Let's
came
not
out of
forget,
nowhere.
too, Nico Gauze, too. Like, they're not,
Yeah.
you know, he may not be an NHL goaltender, but, like, he's a good prospect still.
True.
So they're goaltending.
And shout out to
their
Matthew
goaltending's not
Caron.
bad.
No, that's
Matthew
fair.
Caron?
Yeah. He was their backup goalie. He is from Abbotsford. So
Who was their goalie when they picked up Egorov mid-season?
Caron.
Oh, poor guy just got the shit. They were like, we do not believe in you to take us to the promised land.
He went, we're sorry. You're being bumped down. The new Russian kid is now going to take your spot, which
Yep,
worked out well for them.
it did for them.
Speaking of goalies and Russians, and Dak's not here to talk about it, but Penn State's Arseny Sergeyev signed his ELC, and he's good. He's good. So Calgary's got a fun one there. You got a Wolf
but
and
why?
Sergeyev future tandem. Ooh. What do you
But
mean?
why?
Why he signed?
Yeah, why?
Goalie's
Why would
probably
he
good.
want to sign there where they have literally the best young goaltender in the NHL?
Because he can play with the Wranglers, and then he can just back up.
Which is literally how the Flames killed every other goaltender prospect they have ever had.
That's probably what's going to happen with him too.
Yeah, like why would you sign there as a player? I get like just taking, a good opportunity that comes your way and then working it out as the years go by. But like John Gillies sat in the Flames organization until he was 26 years old, got rotted.
Yeah.
And behind guys like Jonas Hiller, Yoni Ordio, David Rittich.
Okay, Jonas Hiller was actually not bad back in the day, though.
In Anaheim.
You take it back in Anaheim, but even when you take it back to the days like in the 2010 Olympics to like 2014 era, I don't think Jonas Hiller was that bad.
No, I liked Jonas Hiller, but Flames Jonas Hiller was not him.
Okay, fair.
He was like 36 to 39 years old there. He was downhill fast. And no wonder like Goudreau and Monahan and Kachuk all wanted out. Like this is the goaltenders that they had to play in front of.
But what if
McDavid was Skinner?
What if this tandem, Yegorov and Wolf, becomes the best tandem in the NHL?
Sergeyev and Wolf. But Denver, obviously. We're just gonna quickly go through this because there's a couple players I like. Eric Polkamp, that dude is a dog. Holy shit. Like 5'11", 207 pounds. Like, my God.
Who did he sign with?
San Jose, I think.
Oh, sad.
So
I like guys like
let me
that.
double check that. But I really liked him. I thought he was fun. I just like how he's, kind of like an undersized defenseman at 5'11", but has that weight to him, and he just reminds me of Darius Kasparaitis. Just 5'10", 5'11", but like 215 pounds. Just beat the shit out of people. So that would be fun. Yeah, he signed with San Jose. He hasn't signed yet. Never mind. But shout out to him. We already talked about Steve Bouillon. What about their goaltender, Matt Davis? He's really good, but he's undrafted. So.
I think it's really common for college goalies, though, to be undrafted. Like, really common. Yeah.
Same with CHL goalies, I guess, though, unless you're good.
Because really, right, you end up like 22, 23, and that's about when goalies are really coming into their actual ability.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that makes
We
sense.
talked about this though, where like they talk about the next big goalie and Devin Levi and
Yeah.
who was the goalie that came out
Wow.
of dry what was his name? He came out of Minnesota.
Wallstead.
Jesper Wallstead
No. He
came
had
out of
won
Minnesota. What? Minnesota like
Mankato. The
Oh, I don't know. To be
was
honest,
his
with you.
name Dryden? Like his first, I think his first
yeah.
name was.
Yes. One sec. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find Dryden McKay. So
Yeah.
he wins NCAA goaltender of the year that year, becomes this huge hot topic. Where is he? You know
I've
what I
never
mean?
heard of him.
So you're kind of right, like with goaltenders and just like how the NCAA is. So
Yeah, it
um,
benefits a guy who's been in college for 4 years. Like,
yes.
of course, he's gonna look good as a senior. He's been literally practicing every day for 4 years, and he's got guys who are 18 to 20 trying to score on him, and he's like 23. Of course, he's
So
gonna be better.
let's talk about a couple players going back as well, just quickly before we get into this coaches thing. Isaac Howard wins the Hobie Baker. Not sure how, just being honest. Ryan Leonard probably should have won that, but he wins it.
All right, well, just quickly,
So-
we are back because Daden's fire alarm kept going off. So he will hopefully be back in a minute, but someone in his building is burning something. So let's get back to Isaac Howard.
Yeah, what do you make of all that? Like him returning to MSU, just the stuff that he said on Chicklets. What do you make of all of that?
I was worried when we drafted him.
Yeah, no doubt.
I remember him rolling up to the draft in an all-white suit, saying he's the best-looking guy here, and like no one even compared. He was the huge buckle. You know, he's saying like anyone who passes on me is gonna regret it, right? Like all that stuff. He was saying like Tampa got a good one because everyone else passed on him, and he just had the feel, especially of a college kid, who was gonna turn on you.
Yeah,
Tampa was too good for him in terms of their roster makeup to jump right in. You knew he was going to turn and not only was it like he turned, his interview on Spit and Chicklets was 100% him being like, I'm done with Tampa. His tone, it didn't work out with Tampa. We were not on the same. When you say we were not, that is past tense. We were not on the same page, which means Tampa is off the list. Like they're gone.
Right.
So,
trading his rights is probably the route to go now.
Yeah.
Hey?
We had Duran. This was his problem. He refused to go to the AHL. Look at him. He's barely an NHL player still today. We had Anthony D'Angelo. He's been kicked off of 5 teams after he was racist in the OHL. He had he was abusive to his teammates, yelling at Shesterkin in New York. His own hometown team kicked him off. Now he's back, obviously, with the Islanders. But, like, Tampa has a pattern of finding really, really talented players, right? D'Angelo is talented, but he's got problems. Duran is talented, but he's got problems. Connor Ingram, another one, very talented, but he had problems. We literally kicked him out of the organization for whatever happened. All of a sudden, he went from Syracuse to Orlando Solar Bears, and then, boom, he was gone to Nashville.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere. They still have never disclosed what happened there. We don't know.
Right.
But, like really all really talented players, but Tampa just has a thing with guys who have either attitude problems or something that goes wrong, and it always backfires on them.
It
But
seems to.
Here's my side note. Unfortunately, Oliver Bjorkstrand is out week to week and went on LTIR like the day after Isaac Howard decided he wasn't going to play for us. Guess where a roster spot just opened up?
Yeah.
Second line winger.
Which could have been used, right?
Which could have been his, but he burned his bridge by going on Chicklets and saying he was done with the organization, basically, and that, I wasn't looking for only NHL minutes. He can say that, But and I know, like, Julian Breezeball, he's a hard negotiator, right? He often offers lower, right? Like, look what he just did to Steven Stamkos. Isaac Howard thought that he had a bargaining chip. You know what I mean? Like, he just told Steven Stamkos, yeah, we'll give you $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Stamkos signed for $8 million. He was giving him a $7 million a year pay cut from what he's earning now. So, like, I don't know how Isaac Howard thought he had a leg to stand on when Breezeball literally just cut his own captain in half, basically. So
that's true. That's a good way to look at it, though.
Yeah, I don't know, and you know, I'm all props to Breezeball. Stick to your guns, man.
Yeah.
Don't fold.
100%.
Don't fold to a kid that thinks that he owns your organization before he's even in it. He's come to 2 training camps and never played a game for your team. Like, what does he think is so special about him? Is he a great player? Absolutely. Can he put the puck in the net? Absolutely. Is he going to be a great NHL player? We have no idea.
Yeah.
He's a little bit undersized, right? He's apparently, you know, he's tenacious, but what's that tenacity? Is it going to be tenacious but not scoring goals, or is it going to be a tenacious goal scorer? Because if he keeps the tenacity but doesn't score goals, who is he? Right? Like, what?
Yeah, he becomes a third line,
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anyone who's like a perfect comparison, like Anthony Beauvillier, let's say, a guy who was great at putting the puck in the net, but his whole NHL career he has not found that. But he's fast, he's good at getting the puck back, but it doesn't get you very far.
Yep.
So
that's a good. Yeah, I think that's fair. Trey, I mean, just a side note, but Trey Augustine also returning to MSU. So I don't know if Detroit was like I don't know if Red Wings fans. I think Red Wings fans aren't too happy about that, just because they're like, well, we could kind of use you, but
at the same time, look what they're doing with Kosa. What?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's Kosa time now, though. I think that's kind of where it's headed.
Here's my thought, though, with that one is, what are the Red Wings doing with Kosa that inspires Augustine that he has a chance in their organization? They have Jack Campbell, Ville Husso, Cam Talbot. Who else do they have there? They have another guy. Oh, Lyon, whatever. Alex Lyon.
Yeah.
Like,
so they got a lot of goaltenders. They have like 8.
Yeah, so they have 4 goalies at least ahead of Kosa.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, what is he leaving college for? That one makes sense to me.
Role.
Yeah. Hey.
What's up, fellas? We're all good. Just got the all clear.
Nice.
We're talking about Trey Augustine returning and how.
Oh, I hear you. I don't think Augustine has any reason to be interested in going to Detroit, just for what Ryley was just talking about. All the goalies that they have in their system. Yeah. Go try and fill your boots somewhere else.
100%. Let's talk about some coaches now. Obviously, the big news, I'll just talk about some NCAA coaches, and then we're going to touch on Rick Tocchet as well, just because Frank has made some comments about Tocchet and what kind of is surrounding that. So let's start with Pat Ferschweiler, obviously winning NCAA Coach of the Year with Western Michigan. I've had some contact with some sources very close to Ferschweiler and close to the Philadelphia Flyers organization, and basically sources are saying that Ferschweiler will be one of the top candidates for the Flyers head coaching job upcoming here this summer. So big news there. Ferschweiler obviously just led WMU to the first ever championship. He's a longtime NCAA coach. He's a former, he was once a Red Wings assistant coach, so he has the NHL, tenure already. So he knows what the NHL is kind of like. Not to mention, Keith Jones is the president of Flyers hockey operations, and him and Jones were line mates at WMU together in the 90s. So connections. Alex Bump as well, his star player, now in Philadelphia. So there's a lot of connections. But I know, Ryley, you had something you wanted to say about that.
This is just my own personal thought around the situation, is that he can't leave. And this goes back to what we were talking about a little bit ago. He has someone communicating with him about a $515 million investment.
Yeah.
You think the university is just going to let him leave?
No.
I don't think it matters what they have to pay him to keep him. I think that at least until the arena is finalized, maybe not built, but the plan is finalized, I think that he can't go anywhere. He's a part of something bigger than that. He's a part of a university architectural plan. He's not just there coaching a team. Like, he is there for a very specific and important reason on top of that. And I just think that they might pull a contract clause here and be like, you literally cannot leave right now.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And that's a fair point. And somebody, I was talking with somebody today who's from Michigan and close to WMU and knows the program and knows people in there. And he said to me today that the Flyers are going to have to add a couple zeros to match his contract with WMU. So we're talking about coaches and, and football coaches, NCAA basketball coaches. They make $10, $15, $20 million. What's Pat Firschweiler getting paid then, right?
Is he getting commission on that 515 mil?
Yeah.
Like,
so
if he gets 10%, that's 50.
Maybe. Another top coach, obviously, David Carl. Denver University's, icon. Now, Carl, there was some water kind of splashed by Colby Cohen the other day about Carl going to Chicago. Now it sounds like, Carl is the top dog to land the job in Chicago as well as possibly New York. Carl's led the U.S. to back-to-back World Junior Golds as well as led Denver University to back-to-back NCAA titles. So that's a pretty good resume, man. But like we talked about though, like, should he be picky? No. Like, I get it. I get the resume is very attractive, and you don't want to leave just to go coach like just some bottom of the barrel team, but him in Chicago might be the good option. And Johnny Lazarus dropped this on Morning Cup of Hockey this morning, but watch for him to be a candidate in New York. New York apparently is looking to go younger. They went the older route with Peter Laviolette, and that has backfired horrendously. They've gone the old route before prior to that. So what do you think, boys?
Well, I can't remember a time that the New York Rangers have had a young coach.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. He just came out of college coaching, and now he went to San Jose afterwards, and I don't know where he is now. But tall, dark hair. What was his name? I think it's it might be Dave too.
No idea.
David Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn. Yeah.
Quinn.
He came right out of college, right into the Rangers.
I think he was 40 something, but still.
Yeah, but still younger compared to a lot of coaches.
Yeah, 100%.
He struggled right out the gates.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Carl wants to go from, a comfy, cozy Denver empire to the Big Apple in New York and running the Rangers, but I feel like Chicago. I feel like that's the place that would entice him, and he could build out a staff there. I think that's a good point for him to go.
I think Chicago would work too because it's closer to Denver than what
New York would be.
Where New York would be, yeah, not by much, but it is a little bit closer to Denver to the west. So,
and yeah, so I don't know.
I'm thinking about him. He's mid-40s and he has a family, right? So he probably wouldn't want to move his family all the way to the hustle and bustle of the Big Apple.
Well, yeah, that's true all the way out east, right? So unless the offer is obviously significant, but then again, right? But Carl obviously as well is linked to Philly. There's a lot of people linked to Philly, but Pat Firschweiler is one of the main names that we have been told about. And another guy that keeps getting asked about and something that I saw about was Jay Pandolfo. So let's talk a little bit about him because he is not going anywhere. So from what I've been told, from what Colby Cohen has even reiterated on Morning Cup of Hockey, if Pandolfo was offered the Boston Bruins head coaching job, let's say in a hypothetical, even next week, he wouldn't take it. Jay's son Sam was just named to the U.S. NDTP team. I don't know if I just said that correct, but he was named to the national development team. He's 2 years away from being at BU. He's committed to BU. He's also committed to BU with Freddie Meyer's son, Carter Meyer. And that, Pandolfo and Meyer both played together at BU. And from what I've been told, Jay wants to do exactly what Ted Donato did. Win an NCAA championship with your son. Ted did it with his son, Ryan Donato. Jay wants to do it with his son. And as well, from what sources have told me as well, Pandolfo is making $750,000 plus a year on his contract as head coach in BU. So even for an NHL team, you gotta find something to attract them with when it comes to money, right? So that's just some of the information there. But yeah, I don't think you'll be seeing Pandolfo anytime soon in the NHL. What do you anybody got any thoughts?
I don't know. I don't see any reason for him to leave, especially with all the prospects that he got. Especially, we just talked about it earlier. Cole Hudson, he's coming back. So if they're planning on going for another run, why would he leave?
Yeah, keep cementing that dynasty, right? Do what David Carl's kind of done, make a legacy there. And, Jack Parker is obviously one of the most famous NCAA coaches ever. And that's his domain is BU. So, Pandolfo wants to bring that next championship there because they haven't won one since 2015, I think the broadcast had said. So, last thing on coaches.
Sorry, I want to throw, maybe this is a little bit backwards thinking too, right? But like most coaches want to coach in the NHL, but Pandolfo played in the NHL. So like maybe the drive to be in the NHL isn't as big for him because it's not like he's never been there. He's been there. He had a great career there. Now he's just he made multiple millions of dollars, probably doesn't need money. If he's making $750K, that's just fun money. And he's just gets to coach his kid. He gets to hang out in Boston, right? Like, I don't see a reason why an ex-NHLer is feeling pressed to get to the NHL.
Yeah. No, I just think he's part of that. Totally. He's just part of that coaching carousel that's younger and kind of what people want to see, right? But I mean, we could go on and on and on about coaches who should get shots out of the CHL and continuously with college hockey, guys who should get the shots at NHL coaching jobs. But one guy to talk about is Tocchet, because Frank talked yesterday about him going to New York possibly. So you've got Philadelphia and now New York both trying to talk with Tocchet. You'd think Vancouver would, if this was their guy, Vancouver would just be like, here you go, here's the bag of cash. But there doesn't seem to be any concern, maybe is the word in Vancouver. But if they lose Tocchet, right? If they lose Tocchet, what does Vancouver do now?
But at the same time, are they just trying to cleanse the room? Just empty it.
Yeah, probably.
Like, get the room. Get a new coach in there that doesn't know the BS. Try to get rid of Pettersson if you can. Try to, if you can move Hughes for an absolute haul, do it and just reset. I know they won't, but like Hughes, this isn't an insult.
I don't think Petey's off the table, though.
Take the captaincy away. This is not an insult to him. The pressure it put him under this year, the awkwardness every time he had to answer questions about Pettersson and Miller. He went red in the face numerous times because he does not like he's not a guy who handles confrontation well. Not a knock on him. Second best defenseman in the NHL. Not every guy who's the best player on your team needs to be your leader.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, what about Connor Garland? What about Connor Garland? That guy always seems to be getting in everyone's face when something's going wrong, like stopping crap. He did it on the ice. He yelled at JT Miller on the ice to tell him to shut up when he was yelling at him, right? Like he cuts stuff off. And we've seen Sidney Crosby do that, right? Malkin missed a wide open net that one year. It's a very famous clip. And the whole bench is going crazy. And Crosby just turns to the bench. He's like, guys, like he knows. Like, don't worry about it. He'll get another chance. Like, he knows he missed the net, right? Like, a leader just cuts things off right away.
Yeah.
And Quinn,
100%.
I don't know if Quinn really, like, we can't say because we weren't in the meetings in the rooms, but I can't say from what it looks like anything productive was coming from Quinn. He was probably just staying back. Like, I'm not involved. Right. And you need more than that. You need a Johnny Tays, or you need a Stamkos, or, you know, whoever else, all these leaders, Brad Marchand, right? Like long-time captains, or even Brad Marchand. It wasn't long time, but captain worthy, right?
I think the thing is, when you get a guy like JT Miller and a guy like Elias Pettersson, two big, like they've got big heads. And JT Miller, he's a big guy in stature. Quinn Hughes, he's not the biggest guy out there. And if Quinn Hughes comes to confront you about something, I don't care who he's confronting. It's probably not going to be the most intimidating. And
no.
So to get something past JT Miller for Quinn Hughes, I want to take a pretty fair guess and say that it wouldn't be the easiest thing in the world.
No.
And say that maybe JT most of the time was turning head and just wasn't worried about it, because Quinn comes at you and you're just looking at this 5'9", 5'10" guy, and I don't know, he doesn't really bring much. Like,
no,
that's what I'm saying. Like, even with Garland, like, he's not the biggest guy either, but he still brings that
he's got the edge.
Yeah.
And you don't who, like, of all the knock this guy's taken throughout the years, you know who is just a steady Eddie and probably really good for this is Tyler Myers.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like not because he's just the opposite of Hughes, where he's the biggest guy on the team. Just in general, like he's calm. He always collects his thoughts when he's talking to media. He's been in some of the worst situations in history in the Buffalo Sabres organization. Like, he knows what bad is like, and I think he can help guide a team out of it. But yeah, I don't know. But going back to Talkett, I think it's good if he moves on. I don't think he deserves to be in the NHL. He's a fantastic coach. Love Talkett. I think he's great. I just think even he's probably done with Vancouver. Right? Like,
yeah, I think that's kind of how it is too.
Yeah, he's probably just like, thanks, but no thanks. Appreciate you guys giving me this shot, reinvigorated my coaching career, all that and everything, but no. Like, I'm going back to TNT with Biz before I'm coming back here.
Yeah, I think you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder for sure. I think that does it though, boys. You guys in the comments can let us know what your thoughts are on the coaching situations there with Ferschweiler and Carl and Pandolfo and obviously Rick Tocchet. Where do you see him going? What do you see Vancouver doing if they depart, or if they, if Tocchet departs, what's going to happen there? But thanks for sticking along. A bit of a longer episode, this one, but we had a lot to talk about, and we'll see you guys for episode 57.